Hello everybody, this is Igor Lebic, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my two favorite tricks with Google Sheets that you probably didn't know about. So if you're using Google Sheets frequently, whether you're an SEO, social media marketer, or developer, it doesn't matter. If you're using Google Sheets often, I highly recommend that you stick to the end of the video and at least give it a try to these two formulas. So in this video, I'm going to be using my SEO audit workbook as an example, but as you master these tricks, you can pretty much use them in any other workbooks, in any other scenarios that you need. So essentially, this workbook, the way the workbook functions is you have to import a Screaming Frog crawl report in here, and then based on that information, you're going to see um, different pages with different output. For example, in this page, I will see pages that are missing titles. This is for the pages that are missing reports and so on. So this is pretty much an automated workbook, meaning I just have to import the data source and I just see the outcome, right? It's very comfortable, very fast to do SEO audits. However, there's one problem with this workbook. Sometimes Screaming Frog changes their output report, meaning, for example, um, all of the formulas are using specific cells. All of these formulas are using specific structure of the report, if that makes sense. And if Screaming Frog changes the format of the report, for example, if they used to have like a word count in this cell and then title in this cell, if they change this order somehow, that's gonna basically mess up everything in this report. So the solution, I actually found two really cool solutions to this problem. Um, I'm gonna show you the first solution. If you look at the formula I'm using here, you'll pay attention. I have this brackets, then these this kind of thing. So basically, what it means is instead of using the actual letter of the column, I'm using I'm referencing to this list here. Because, for example, if someday Screaming Frog changes their report to a way that indexability is going to be on the column C instead of E, what I would have to do is go to every single one of these formulas, every single one, and change everywhere, change E to C. That's a ton of work. Believe me, there is a lot of pages and it's very easy to make mistake and it quickly becomes a very tedious task. So imagine now instead of being a workbook that actually helps to automate the SEO process, it's now becoming a tedious manual task to do. So instead of using the actual letters, I'm linking back to here. So now if Screaming Frog changes the indexability um, from column E to column C, all I have to do is replace it here. That's it. And it's going to automatically, since all the other formulas are pulling from B2, everything is going to be fine, right? So I'm going to change it back to E. So this was the trick number one. Instead of using if you're using a spreadsheet or a workbook with a bunch of different um, formulas that depend on the report, you might want to make a little list of the most important columns and the corresponding name of that column. And then instead of using the actual letter of the column, you can just link back to that list. It's kind of like a variable in programming. So that in case the report format changes, you can just change that here, and it's gonna work for the rest of the report fine. It's gonna save you a ton of time, and yeah, I hope you find this useful. Now I'm gonna show you the other trick I have about this one. So let's say I don't want to be changing these letters automatically. Let's say I have these columns that are important to me, and what I want to do is automatically look up this header and give me the letter of the column. So let me actually import a Screaming Frog report in here so you see what I mean. So you can see there is a whole bunch of headers in the Screaming Frog report. And this is the formula that's gonna allow you basically to take this text, which is word count right now, and look it up in the list of these headers, and then it's gonna give you the actual letter where the text is. So you can see currently word count is in column AC, which is weird because previously it was in AE, now it's in then it was in AG, now it's in AC, which is kind of complicated, right? So using this formula, will automatically find it for you and give you the letter. And let me show you how it works. So essentially, we're going to be moving from the inside to the outside. The first formula we have is match. Match will what match does is takes a range and then looks for this phrase in that range. So this is the phrase we need to look for, word count, and this is the range where it's looking for. And this is what? And this is the, I guess, the row. So 0 is the first row, or not. BG. I'm not even sure what that is, to be honest. But essentially, you can just copy paste this formula, and this one will look up the phrase word count in the list of headers A1 to BI1. Next, we have address. What address does is, so the match will return you just a number, which is 31. But this doesn't work for us because we don't need the number. We need the actual letters. So for this purpose, we use the formula address. And address alone would give me the following outcome: $A$C, which again doesn't work for us because we can't reference that in other formulas. It's not gonna work. So then we use the formula substitute, which gonna take away the dollar and replaces with just nothing, right? So the next outcome is AC1. That would be the outcome, right? And then the last formula we use is left, which is basically taking only 2 characters from the left. So you can see it's saying AC, but if I change this to 1, it's just gonna be A. If I change it to 3, it's gonna be AC1. I wonder what's gonna happen if I change it to 5. Okay, it's just AC1. But because AC1 doesn't work for the rest of the formulas, I need to just use the first 2 letters from the left side, so say 2, and it's giving me AC. So now this is what I need for the other formulas to work. And now if I go to this report, okay, the reason why it's showing blank is because for some reason the report exported me. It's not a complete report, but because it's only exported me a bunch of pages with 0 word count, and the requirement is 50 words or more. But if I remove that, you can see this is the list of pages, and this is the word count. So in this formula, the reason why I can see the word count in this column is because in this query formula, I'm actually referencing this cell, which is B7. So you can see before B5, B7. So I'm selecting A, which is the URL before the title, B5, H1, and B7 is the word count. and D7 is generated automatically. So you can see some of the cells I have here are manual, which is my old way of doing it. So I would have to make sure all of those. I would have to make sure that indexability is on column E, status code is column C, and so on. But now if I use this formula that allows me to look up the name of the header and get the letter of the column, now all of a sudden the whole report is completely automated. So all I have to do is grab another report from another website, plug it in, and it's going to automatically find me the letter of that column, and the rest of the formulas are going to work automatically. So these are my two tips, guys. Let me recap. First one, instead of if you have a lot of formulas that are linking back to certain cells, instead of using the actual letter of the cell, consider making a list of those important columns and add a letter next to it, and then link to that cell with that letter. You can link by using this way, right? So the second way is kind of an upgraded version of this. Instead of adding the letters manually, you can use this formula that will automatically look up the text. In this case, it's word count, but I could actually even link to A7. So instead of saying word count, I'm gonna say A7. Now it's looking up what's in here now, which is even kind of more automated. Now at this point, you just want to make sure these names are correct. These correspond to the actual names of these headers. I think capitalized letters count here. If I make it lowercase, it's gonna break. It didn't break. Okay. So anyway, now you have a really good automated report, and all you have to do, you just plug in the report in here, and you don't have to worry about the columns changing. And this applies to any other tool or any other online service that you use. Most of them will provide you with some kind of CSV or any kind of report. And sometimes application change. Sometimes they make updates. They may come up with a new metric and they add it in here. And this is going to shift word count to somewhere else. So let me just move word count here, right? Now it's AK. But you can see now it's AK. All the reports are still working regardless where this column is. You can like move them around like here, it doesn't matter. Everything works fine. So this is it for the video. I hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. And if you need these formulas, if you have trouble, I mean, I'm not gonna copy them because I want you to actually write it yourself, because this is a better way to learn the formula. If you just copy it, you're just not gonna remember it. But if you have any questions about these formulas, if you wonder how they work, or maybe you need to modify it or extend it, feel free to let me know. I'm sure I'll be able to help you with that. If you want to see, if you want to have this the copy of this workbook, I will share it with you as well. Just let me know in the comments. And I hope you have a great day, and goodbye.